And today, we're using a team of Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta units only. 1 LF, 1 free-to-play, and 1 summonable. We start off getting my opponent's corrupted Zamasu to dodge. We then immediately use a strike and 2 blast darts, nearly taking him out. We then get my opponent's Spiritual Trunks to dodge, and then use a strike arts with LF Vegeta. And then use a blast arts and another, and for some reason my opponent gives up his corrupted Zamasu. We then tackle the new Trunks, and then use our Rising Rush immediately to take him out. After surviving Spiritual Trunks' LF and Y free-to-play Vegeta, we use our green card, and then our blast starts to take him out. And today, we're using a team of future Gohan units, the Zenkai, the LF, and the All Super Saiyan unit. We start off with the All Super Saiyan unit getting taken out so he can activate his death buffs to both units. We then transform with the Zenkai Gohan, dodge the legendary mid-range strike, and immediately get into a great combo. Now remember, we have level 2 card draw speed, one from his main ability, and one from the death buffs from the future Gohan. We deal some great damage here with Zenkai Gohan, getting rid of Maju's endurance, then using our green card, take out Gogeta for 20 counts. We then perfect punish Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's green card with the LF future Gohan, use a strike arts, our own green card, and then our Rising Rush to take him out. We then immediately use our main ability, catching out my opponent's Majub with our ultimate. Finally, we tackle my opponent's Ultra Gogeta. He uses some tap attacks to push us away. We use our main ability. I then tackle to get my opponent to use his Rising Rush, which he does. I dodge it, and then use a strike, and a blast starts to take him out. And today, we're using Super Gogeta units from the Janemba movie, the Ultra, the Zenkai, and the Green Sparking. We start off getting my opponent's Sapien to dodge, sidestep once, and then time the sidestep the second time so he can perfect vanish my opponent's attack. We then use a blast arts, and then drop my combo, anticipating a switch out which my opponent does, switch into Ultra Super Gogeta, and then use a blue card, dealing some great damage. We then catch my opponent's SSB Goku out with our Zenkai Super Gogeta, use the 2 strike arts on our hand to get our Rising Rush, and then use said Rising Rush as my opponent switches into Tapion, who is taken out. We then use a strike art as my opponent's Ultra Super Gogeta quick dashes up towards me. We then switch into Green Super Gogeta, use 2 blast darts, our main ability to get our blue card, and then use said blue card to take him out. We then dodge Super Saiyan Goku's tackle, and immediately use a strike arts with Green Super Gogeta. We then use a blast arts, and then our green card, immobilizing him. We then switch into Ultra Super Gogeta, use our main ability, our strike arts, and then our ultimate arts. We then perfect vanish SSJ3 Goku's attack, use the strike arts, and then my opponent forfeits. And today we're using a Super Vegito only team, using the Ultra, the LF Zenkai, and the Transforming unit. We start off at the beginning of the match, where we get my opponent's Vados to dodge. We then perfect vanish my opponent's MUI Goku, and then use a strike, another, and then our blue card, dealing some nice damage. We then switch into the Transforming Vegito, use 2 green cards, our main ability, and then use a quick strike, getting rid of some of my opponent's MUI Goku's gauge. We then perfect vanish the blast arts from the mid range, use our blast of our own, a strike, and then a Rising Rush to take out my opponent's Vados. We then use our main ability to get our blue card, and then use it to take out my opponent's MUI Goku. We then dodge Vegeta's blast, switch into the LF Zenkai, use our main ability, catch my opponent's Vegeta in a sidestep, use a strike, a blast, and as we're about to get the legendary finish, my opponent forfeits. And today, we're using a mono green hybrid Saiyan team with two of the best Zenkais this year. We start off perfect vanishing Android 18's attack with LF Trunks, using two strike cards, our green card for the first time, getting our ultimate, and then using said ultimate, dealing some nice damage as my opponent switches into his free-to-play Trunks. We then switch into ultimate Gohan, use a green card, get my opponent's Trunks to dodge with the blast darts, immediately use a strike as my opponent switches into his LF Trunks, use our main ability to get our ultimate, and then use said ultimate to take out LF Trunks. We then dodge 18's tackle, switch into future Gohan, use our main ability, perfect vanish her attack, and then use two blast darts to take her out. We then switch into LF Trunks, use two green cards, dodge the tap attack, use our main ability, catching my opponent out in a sidestep, and then getting the legendary finish with LF Trunks.
Super Saiyajin は孫悟空さん一人じゃない。ここにもいたということだ。
And today, we're using a mono purple Sagas from the Movies team, basically mono purple, but worse. We start off using a blast dart as my opponent's future Gohan tackles. We then use the strike cards, and then our blue card as my opponent switches into his future Trunks. We then use a blast dart as my opponent mistimes his stab attack, and then a strike, tag switch into Goku, and then use our rising rush to take out my opponent's Majin Vegeta. We then dodge Trunks' tackle, and then use our blue card to take him out. We then dodge the strike cards from future Gohan, switch into revival Gohan, use our main ability, and then our blue card, as I thought we were about to get the LF. But we were off by 22,000 HP. We then dodge a blue card, use some tap attacks to get rid of the endurance, switch into free-to-play Gogeta, dodge the tackle, use our main ability, and catch him out in a sidestep again. Use a strike, and as we're using the second strike, my opponent forfeits. And today, we're using a mono yellow Future Saga team, with the free-to-play Cell, the free-to-play Trunks, and the LF Future Gohan. We start off with my opponent's androids getting their cover change off against my free-to-play Trunks. We then dodge their attack with LF Gohan, use the strike cards, switch into free-to-play Cell, use the blast darts, and main ability, another blast darts, and then our blue card, dealing some OK damage. We then dodge their attack, and dash backwards to avoid their tap attacks, but my opponent overextends, allowing us to use our rising rush to take them out. We then switch into our free-to-play Trunks and dodge the attack, use some tap attacks to push back Golden Frieza, switch into LF Gohan, use our main ability, catching my opponent's Aging Golden Frieza out in a sidestep, use the strike cards, and then our ultimate, as my opponent switches into his full power Frieza, dealing some OK damage. We then get my opponent's full power Frieza to dodge, and then tackle him, use the strike cards, switch into the free-to-play Trunks, use the blast darts, our green card to get another card, use the second blast darts, our main ability to get a new card hand, another blast darts, and then another blast darts, our green card to get another blast darts. As my opponent switches into his Angel Golden Frieza, we'll use the strike, and then our blue card, taking him out. We then perfect vanish the attack from full power Frieza, use a strike, and then my opponent forfeits. And today, we're using a mono-red androids team, with the LF androids, free-to-play Android 21, and revival Cell. We start off getting my opponent's Ultra Gogeta to dodge, and immediately using a strike cards as my opponent switches into his Namek Goku, using a blast, and then our blue card dealing some nice damage. We then dodge Namek Goku's blue card as my opponent drops his combo for some reason. We then use the strike cards, switch into the LF androids, and get into a great combo. After using a blast darts and a strike cards, we tag switch into Android 18, use the blast darts, drop our combo to avoid Super Vegito's cover change, use our green card to get our Rising Rush, and use said Rising Rush, but my opponent guesses it. We then catch out my opponent's Namek Goku with a Blast Arts with Android 21, as my opponent switches into his Ultra Gogeta, then switch into Android 18 and then use a Blast Arts to take him out. We then dodge the legendary mid-range strike from Ultra Super Vegito, use 2 Blast Arts paralyzing him, switch into the androids, and then switch into 21, use her main ability, and then our blue card, taking out my opponent's Namek Goku. We then use our green card, dodge the Blast Arts with Ultra Super Vegito, and then use a Blast Arts of our own, taking him out. And today, we're using a powerful opponent Mono Blue team with LF Broly, LF Kid Buu, and Zenkai EX Evil Buu. We start off using our blue card against the Blue Bros, fainting them. We then charge Ki with Broly, use our green card, and get into a nice combo. We then use our Rising Rush to take out my opponent's Fusion Zamasu. We then get my opponent's Vegeta and Goku to dodge, immediately use our strike cards, taking advantage of our Blast Armor, use our main ability, and then 2 Blast Arts taking him out. We then use our green card with Evil Buu, use our main ability, get into a Blast Clash, dodge the full range Rising Rush, use the strike cards, switch into Kid Buu, use another strike, our main ability, and then our ultimate, dealing some OK damage. We then use our blue card to get my opponent to dodge, use some tap attacks to push him back, switch into Broly, dodge the attack, use a Blast Arts, and then some more tap attacks, halting their attack. Finally, we switch into EX Evil Buu, use our green card, and then our blue card, taking out the androids.